Okay, so go ahead and grab your ball. We're gonna start with the feet. So we're gonna stand up, and if you've got a real soft mat, you might just wanna step off to the side just so that you get a little bit more pressure. So we're gonna take the green ball and we're gonna place it under the middle of the right foot. So if you can kind of see, I've got it just behind the pad of the ball of the foot where I would be on my tiptoes. And I'm gonna lean my weight into it. Now you can kind of adjust it. Like I like it right behind the ball of the foot. So it's right where my arch is kind of starting. And when I press into the ball, I can feel my toes want to curl around the ball naturally, right? It should kind of, it should naturally want to just kind of put pressure up into all that musculature that acts like a flexor and lets the toes kind of wrap around. So you're kind of just leaning in and out to find out what pressure feels sustainable. And then once you feel like you've got a pressure that you can maintain, we're gonna pick the toes up and down. So if you've got too much weight in there, you're gonna feel like your toes can't lift. So just make sure it feels like there's some resistance. Like I want it to feel like it's challenging to pick up your toes or that there's something kind of working against that lift, but not that you can't lift the toes, right? Good. Maybe just one more like that. And then we're gonna roll that ball from the ball of your foot to the heel, going right down the center. So I just pick it up, move it forward, and then push down as I roll it back. So I'm trying to encourage all of this fluid to kind of move back up the heel and back up the chain of the heart. Okay, we're trying to encourage that circulation here. And now take that ball just towards the arch side of the foot. So we're kind of thinking of cutting the bottom of the foot into 3 lines that run the length of the foot, right? Right down the center, more on the arch side, and then we're gonna take it over to the pinky side of the foot. So next you're just gonna kind of angle your foot a little bit more towards the outer pinky edge and roll the ball along that thinner side of the foot there. And again, I'm trying to move the weight back towards my heel. All right, now you're gonna place your heel down on the ground, and now the ball's right under the ball of my foot, so where I would be on my tiptoes, and I'm gonna just tick-tock back and forth like a little metronome. So you can keep your heel on the floor, and again, just let your toes go back and forth, so that ball rolls along the pad of your foot, along the ball of your foot. Toes are slightly curling around that ball. Good, and then we're gonna take it to the heel. So now you've got your toes on the floor and the ball under your heel, and we're doing that same kind of back and forth tick-tock here. Right, you can visualize kind of this like Olivia Newton-John Grease heel kick side to side. And then we're just gonna pick up the pace a little bit, a little faster back and forth, just flushing out that system. Good, and then just take that ball and lightly scribble it all over the bottom of the foot, just working with the lymphatic system, moving everything around, waking everything up. All right, go ahead and just set that foot down. Maybe just take a moment and notice difference from side to side on that right foot versus the left. Noticing the tone, the texture, kind of the heaviness. And then we'll switch to the other side. So now again, I'm gonna start kind of right in the, I'm not exactly in the middle, I'm just a little bit closer to the toes in the middle, but I'm right behind the ball of my foot. So this is where I'd be on my tiptoes, I'm just behind that, closer to the arch. And we're gonna just lean the weight in and out. Now you can kind of adjust here, forward or backward to what feels good with your foot, right? Everybody's bones are kind of put together a little bit closer, farther apart, just a little differently, so you kind of feel where this feels like productive pressure. And again, I want to feel like my toes naturally curl in towards the floor as I lean into the ball. And then just hold your weight there, and here's where we're going to lift and lower the toes. Okay, so I want you to feel that resistance as you try to work against that pinning of the tissue under the foot. To try to stretch the toes up towards the ceiling. Good, maybe just 1 or 2 more here, those toes moving. And then we're gonna drag that ball towards the heel. We're going right down the center of the arch. And again, you're gonna put as much body weight into this that feels productive. So what does that mean? Let's see, like try to think of more like 60 to 70% of your intensity here. So I don't want you to be putting so much weight in that you're holding your breath or feeling like your muscles are tightening up against the ball, but we wanna feel like you can really breathe deep and continue to put that pressure in, and it feels like your muscles are reacting in a positive way. All right, we're gonna go to the arch of the foot. Okay, so now you're just kind of angling that foot in, so you can roll it a little bit more on that inner portion of the foot. And again, I'm putting the pressure on the way back towards my heel. And if there's anywhere you want to just hang out and stop along the way that feels like it's got a good pressure point, go ahead. Let's go to the pinky side now. So this stuff becomes really intuitive. You know, I want you to try to feel, what does it feel like as I'm doing this? And there's this idea of like a healthy stress, right? We want to try to find a healthy stress for this tissue so that it wants to rebuild in a way that's really productive. All right, we're going to put the heel down, and now the ball of the foot is going to go on top of that ball. So I'm going to just tick-tock back and forth. My heel's weighted, so that's kind of where we're fixed, and then the toes can go back and forth. So the toes aren't on the ball of the foot is on the ball. Good. Now move it under the heel. Toes are on the floor. And we're going back and forth here with that little heel swish, side to side. Now, if it bothers you to be right under the heel bone and you'll feel like a little crunching, you can always move it a little forward of the bone, or you can be right under it. All right, a little faster, pick up that pace. Good, and then go ahead and just scribble along the bottom of the foot, real light, just like a little tickle, or along the bottom. Okay, so go ahead and set the ball off to the side for now. And we'll do a little bit more work with that at the end of class. But for now, we're going to just go ahead and set to the front of the mat. So just sometimes releasing the feet can really change the whole tension system that runs up the back chain of the body. So let's just see how that affects our hamstrings when we work through our practice today. So inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Palms are going to touch at the top. And then soften the knees and exhale. Long spine is going to dive all the way forward. Inhale, soften the knees, look forward, get long in your spine again. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, press into your feet and roll yourself all the way up. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Shrug the shoulders up and back. And we'll take this next inhale all the way over the arms. Exhale, dive forward. Nice flat spine, you can soften the knees. Inhale, extend the heart forward, flatten the back. Exhale, place the hands down, step yourself back into your plank. Just pause here. Getting strong, feeling your hands press into the ground. Start to drag the hands back and the toes forward. And then curl your chest towards the front of your mat. Lengthen your heels back. Shoulders down under the ears. Try to feel this little hug of your arms down and in towards your ribs. Now lower your knees all the way down with that chaturanga to your belly. And then from here, press down into the feet. Reach the hands back towards your feet and curl your chest up the wall. Just pick the pinkies up towards the sky. Give me one more extra breath here. Try to lift your belly away from the floor and root down through your pubic bone. Good. Hands come down under those elbows, tuck your toes. Either push back to your knees or your toes, send it back, child's pose. Good, look forward at the thumbs. Go ahead and come up, downward facing dog, pedal the feet. Switch, if you've got one knee bent, switch it to the other side. Now, I don't know about you, but my first down dog, I can already tell from just rolling out the feet how much more room I have to be able to drop my heel there. Just the tension in the back of the leg feels different. Let's take that right leg up and back. Reach it back, press your palms down and forward. Good, exhale, shift your weight forward, bring that right knee to tap that right elbow, and then we're gonna inhale and take it all the way up and back. Exhale, bring it forward, tap that left elbow with the right knee. Inhale up and back. Same thing, right elbow, up and back. Left elbow, up and back. One more round. Right elbow, take that leg and reach it back. Shift forward, tap that left elbow, all the way up and back. Last one, just set it between the hands, step that right foot forward, look forward, and we're gonna come up into our crescent lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bring the hands behind the head, bend the elbows, push the head and shoulders back, opening the elbows wide, pull the pubic bone up and draw the ribs into your front pockets. Okay, so draw those front ribs in. Try to take a little bit of the back bend out of the low back. And just feel like your head's moving back into those hands, opening the elbows wide. Good. Now from here, let's just go ahead and turn the chest towards the right and open the arms out. Good. Settle in here, sink a little bit into that right knee. Keep pulling up the low belly here. Good, now we're gonna take this left hand, reach it out in front of that left big toe, bring the hand down and slide that left foot to lift, reaching the right arm towards the ceiling. One more breath here. Good, both hands come down to the floor, square up your hips, and then you can start to turn your chest towards the ground and draw it back towards your legs for this kind of standing splits position. Good, look forward, place your hands down, step that left foot to the back of the mat, keep the left hand on the floor, open the right arm to the ceiling, turn the chest. Good, exhale, bring that right hand down, slide that right foot all the way to the back of the mat, look forward. You can either lower to the knees or you're gonna do that full chaturanga to your belly. Elbows bend, all the way to the ribs, lower down. Reach the hands back. This time the feet can come up as well. Breathe. Pinkies are lifting. Inner thighs lifting. Good, hands come back under your elbows, tuck your toes, either push back up to your knees or that full plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg's gonna inhale, up and back. Exhale, shift it forward, tap that left knee to the left elbow, pause. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, take it to that right elbow, tap, pause, take it up and back. 2 more rounds like that. Left elbow, up and back. Right elbow, up and back. Last round, left elbow, up, back, and reach. Right elbow, up, back, and reach. Good, go ahead and just step that foot between the hands. Pause here, press into the feet, come up, all the way to crescent lunge. Bring those arms up. Bend the elbows, hands behind the head. So again, I'm pushing my head back, leaning my shoulders back, opening the elbows, and then I'm gonna zip that front belly up and draw those front ribs in. Now this should feel like a pretty big opening in the front of that right hip, and maybe even a little bit in the chest. Upper back is starting to lift, the heart towards the ceiling. Good, now slowly bend that left knee nice and deep. Let's turn the chest towards the left, and then reach those arms out wide. Good, one more big breath here. Okay, so you're turning to look forward. We're gonna bring that right hand down onto the floor out in front of that left big toe. And then you're gonna slide that right foot up to the sky. So we've got this revolved half moon here. That right foot's gonna try to stamp on the wall behind us. So get a nice straight right leg. Good. One more big breath here. Both hands down to the floor, standing splits. So with this, we can walk your hands back towards your foot. You're trying to turn both sets of hip bones towards the floor and then lift from the inner thigh as you drop your chest towards your left thigh. Good, slowly bend the left knee, step that right foot to the back of the mat, right hand on the ground, sweep that left arm open. And exhale, bring that hand on the outside of the left foot, slide the left foot back to plank, pause, look forward. Now again, you can come to the knees, or you can stay on the toes. We're gonna do that chaturanga all the way with belly. So bend the elbows, slowly lower down. Once your belly hits the floor, reach the hands back, curl the chest up the wall, and then lift from the inner thighs, pick up the legs. Nice long neck here. Good, one more big inhale and exhale. Good, inhale, bring the hands under the elbows, tuck the toes. Exhale, push it up, and back to downward facing dog. All right, moving on. Right leg's gonna go up and back. Exhale, right elbow. Tap it, send it up and back. Left elbow. Tap it, send it up and back. So really try to hug that thigh up into your belly and see how high you can touch that arm with your knee. Good. Let's take right elbow, send it back. Left elbow, send it back. Now on this next one, shift it forward, bring that right into the right elbow, and then take it to the left elbow. Right elbow, left elbow. Here's 3, 2, 1, and 1. Step that right foot between the hands. Come up into that crescent lunge. Take your breath here, keep the arms reaching. Good, hands are gonna come behind the head again. Push those elbows back. Now we're gonna bend that left knee like we're gonna tap it to the floor and then pick yourself back up into this crescent lunge. Bend and tap, pick it up. Tap and up. Tap, tap. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, zip that belly back, 6, push the head back, 5, elbows wide, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go ahead and turn your chest to the right, reach those arms out. Good, staying here. We're just gonna tap the floor with the left hand and come right back up. Tap the floor with the left hand, come up. Here's tap and up. Here we go, 10, 9. As you come up, really reach back with that right arm. 8, 7, losing my balance. 6, something to look at that's not moving. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look forward, slide that left hand on the ground, pick up that left foot. So left hand's on the ground, right foot's on the ground. I'm turning towards the right. And then here we go, we're gonna bend this right knee and then straighten it back up. So just like a little elevator, I want you to feel like your hips go down and up. Maybe you can keep your chest right where it is. Let's go for 10. Keep reaching that right arm up. Keep turning your chest to the side. 9, 8, get that left leg nice and straight. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands to the floor. Do your standing splits. Good. Now look forward. You're gonna bend your left knee into your chest, bend your right knee, and then we're gonna straighten everything back out. Everything's gonna bend in like you're making a little ball, and then you're gonna reach it back out long. Now your hands can be up on blocks if you need them there. Let's go for 10. Pick up the pace a little bit. 9, 8, 7. Try to get the flatness in your back. 6. So you can get out of the rounding. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide that left foot to the back of the mat and that left hand on the inside of that right foot. Roll yourself open. Stretch that right arm up. Good. Now, holding from here, we're just gonna have the hips go down a few inches, up a few inches. Down a few inches, up a few inches. So I want you to feel that right leg bend a little deeper and straighten a little more. It's not going very far. It's just a little pulse of the hips up and down. Pressing the right foot. Here's 10, 9, wrap that right sit bone in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, can we slide this right foot all the way to the back of the mat and come into your side plank? Holding here, lift the hips, reach for the ceiling. Give me 3, 2, 1. Both hands down to the floor, look forward. Here's our chaturanga. Elbows are gonna come into the ribs, slow lower all the way to the belly. Reach the hands back, curl the heart up the wall, pick up the legs. Pick up those pinkies. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Take one more big breath. Good, exhale, hands down, press back to your toes or your knees, and then all the way back down, facing dog. All right, left side. Left leg goes up and back. We're gonna bring it forward, tap the left elbow, up and back. Right elbow, up and back. 2 more. 2, 2, 1, 1. Now we're going to take that left knee to the left elbow, hold it, take it over to the right elbow, hold it, back to the left, back to the right, left, right, one more, left, right, and then step between the hands, coming up into that crescent lunge. Take a breath here, set your stance up, get your legs to feel like they're not on a tightrope. Zip that belly up, front ribs in, hands come behind the head. So there should already feel like there's some opening in that right hip, but as we go down and tap the floor with the right knee, you should feel that work come to the quad, and maybe even more lengthening through the front side of that right leg. So just tapping down and coming back to crescent. Head presses back, here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, lean those shoulders back. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, from here, arms are gonna unwind. You're gonna turn your chest to the left. Good, so just holding here for a moment. Drop this left sit bone towards the floor. Really expand through the arms. Okay, here's our tapping. Okay, we're gonna tap the floor and come back up. Tap the floor and back up. Watch your balance, find something to look at that's not moving. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Reach that left hand back, and then that right hand's gonna come out on the front of that left big toe. We're gonna slide forward and pick up that right leg. So now I'm turning towards the left. All right, straighten that right leg, stamp it on the wall. Here we go. Down with the elevator and back up. So you're gonna bend that left knee and straighten. Keep turning your chest towards the left and reaching that left arm up. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, really cinch your core in, 7, Hug your spine with your muscles. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands to the floor. Standing splits. Bring yourself towards your thigh. Square up the pelvis. Okay, here's where we're gonna look forward, and you're gonna bend both knees, bring yourself into this kind of small ball shape with the legs, and then expand back out. Now the chest can drop a little bit here as the knee comes in, but then I want you to try to flatten out the back and reach yourself nice and long. Hands can get up on blocks if you need to. Here we go, let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that left knee, slide the right foot to the back of the mat, right hand on the floor, left arm opens up. Okay. Stay in this twist for another breath or two. And then we've got this little bounce of the hips, okay? So I'm just dropping the hips a little bit and then picking them up a little bit. So it's just a few inches, but I want this left cheek really hugging in and tilting down. You should be feeling all this work through that left outer hip and glute. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly slide that left foot back to that side plank. Pick up your hips. Give me one more big breath here. Good. Both hands down to the floor. Look forward. Here's our chaturanga. Elbows are going to tap into your ribs. Squeeze them all the way to the floor. Slow. Reach the hands back. Pick up the feet. Good. Now this time we're just going to hold it here and sweep the arms over the ears, reaching forward and back. Try to keep that same lightness in your belly and try not to let your head and shoulders die down as those arms swim forward. Let's go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, you can always put your feet down, 2, 1. Bend those elbows, hands are up above the floor, elbows are in by your ribs. Can we just lift the wrists and the forearms up? So it's like little wings out to the side, and we're creating just a little bit of rotation here in the upper arm bone. So we're trying to squeeze the elbows in and turn those hands and forearms up to the ceiling. Up. You should feel this in the back of the shoulders. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, like little doors opening on a hinge. Here's 2, 1. Hands down. Press yourself back to your knees, and then through child's pose. Take a breath here. Keep your butt on your heels and just walk your hands over to the left. Really walk that right hand a little farther, and then sink your weight back to your right hip. Big breath into the right rib cage. Walk your hands back through center and all the way over to the right. Walk the left hand a little farther out. Sink your hips back over to the left. Good. Back through center. Pick up the hips, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet there for a moment. All right, right leg reaches up and back. On the exhale, bring it to touch that right elbow. Hold it there. Keep that knee up high on that arm. Good, now slide that knee down the wrist, again like a little elevator, and then pick it all the way back up above the elbow. Slide that right knee down to the wrist, and then pick it up with your belly and lift it to the elbow. 3 more. Here's 3,
2, 1. Step it between the hands, come up. Warrior 2, so pivot that left heel down. Come all the way up. Okay, so we're gonna do a little just movement series here. You're gonna be in that warrior 2 position. Then we're gonna send that right arm forward. You can have the left hand come to your hip. And we're gonna come into this floating half moon. Right, so I'm just gonna pick myself up, try to pick that left leg up, feel all the musculature on the left side working. Then slowly with control, I'm gonna step that left foot back to warrior 2 and reverse my warrior here, taking that right arm up and over the ear. Good, come back to warrior 2. Send yourself forward with that hand, slowly float that left leg up. Give it a breath. And then slide that left foot to the back of the mat and reverse the warrior. Good, a few more just like that. Reaching that hand forward. So really watch the tracking of your right knee. Make sure it feels really strong and stable as you lift up off that left foot. I'm trying to get my right leg to go pretty straight here. But really that transition between the moves is what I want you to focus on. How smooth and controlled do I feel like I can be in that right leg as I slide back and reverse that warrior. Good. 2 more just like this. Reach it forward. Slowly pick it up. Give me a couple breaths here. Slowly step the left foot to the back of the mat. Reverse it. Side stretch. Good, 1 more. Come on up. Hold it here. 1 more breath. Slowly step it back. Reverse it. Okay, 1 more. Coming up to hold this time. We're just gonna take it into that half moon hover, right? So you're here in this half moon, reaching that right arm forward. Now I wanna try to challenge our balance with that left foot. You're gonna bend that left knee like it's gonna come in and tap your chest. And then you're gonna send it right back out. Bring it in, tap it to your belly or your chest. Right back out. We got 3 more. Here's 3. 2. Last 1. All the way back. Good. Bend that right knee, step the foot to the back of the mat. Reverse your warrior. See if you can bend that right knee a little deeper. Maybe the foot walks forward, get a little lighter in that left hand. Good. And then just side angle, left arm over the left ear, leaning towards the right side. This right hand can stay where it is, or it can slide down to the inside of that right foot. Good job. Just take this left elbow, bend it slightly, and bring that left hand back behind you, like you're trying to turn your chest up to the ceiling. And exhale, both hands to the inside of the right foot. Wiggle the right foot out a little bit. Just turn everything towards the floor. Reach the left heel back. Stretch the pelvis here. Good, now, you've got your right knee right next to that right elbow or that right shoulder. Can you just lift your hips a little bit, keep the knee and the arm touching, and then just squeeze that right foot up. Feel that right foot squeeze up. Now, you can send your right foot back to plank, or you can keep it here, and we're gonna do a couple little bends and push-ups. So a little chaturanga push-up halfway down and up. So if you've got that right knee squeezing on the outside of that arm, keep it there. Otherwise, you can step it back. We got 2 more. There's 2. 1, slide that right foot back if it's not already there. And now chaturanga all the way to the floor to your belly. Pick up the legs, reach the arms back. So that's kind of a nice little precursor to taking an arm balance there. If you kept that knee up at your shoulder. Last little lift. Good, now just take the arms and legs out a few inches, squeeze them in. Out and in. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Hands under your shoulders or elbows. Push back to your plank and downward facing dog. Left side. Left leg goes up and back. On your exhale, shift it forward. Hold that left knee in your left arm. Get it high up on that elbow. Good. Here's where we're going to slide it down the wrist. And then pick it right back up to the top. Let it slide down towards the wrist. Pick it up. 3 more. Take it down. Use your belly. Pick it up. There's 2. Last one. Step in between the hands. Warrior 2. Go ahead and pick yourself all the way up. Okay. So we're going to move through that little series again. Check your left knee, right? I want to make sure it doesn't go towards that big toe. Bring that right hand on the hip, reach the left arm forward, start to shift your weight with the left leg. Pick it up for this half moon. Hovering here, reaching forward with the hand, reaching back with the leg. My body's trying to turn towards the long side of my mat. And bend and step it back. And reverse that warrior. Left arm goes over the ear and reach it back. Side bend. Bend deeply to the left knee. Good. Reach it forward. Warrior 2 through to this hovering half moon. Pick up that back leg. Again, I want about 2 breaths here in each pose. Slowly stepping it back, reversing that warrior. Give yourself an extra breath here. You can use this right hand on the leg. Just try not to press on your knee. Good. Back up. And then here we go. So we got 3 more like that. Reaching forward, picking up the leg. A couple breaths. Feel all the sides of the body turn on here. Slow step to the back of the mat. Reverse. Good. 2 more. Come up, hand to the hip. Reach it forward. Weight comes into that left leg. Pick up the right. 1 more breath here. Step it back. Reverse. Good. So I can bring that hand forward. Half moon. Pick up the right leg. Good. Slowly step it back. Reverse the warrior. All right, 1 more like this. Half moon hover. Slow step it back, reverse. All right, next one, we're gonna hold it up there. And we're gonna do that knee bending in. So find a position you can be in and stay in. Maybe you don't drop your chest as low. Maybe you do drop it a little lower. And then here's where we're gonna bring that right knee to the chest. Squeeze it in and press it back. Squeeze it in. Find something to look at that's not moving. Reach that left arm forward. 3 more. Here's 3. 2. Stamp that right foot on the wall as you press that leg back to straight. Last one. Slow bend at the left knee. Step it back. Reverse. Good. Really bend that left knee nice and deep. Slowly come forward into that side angle. Left knee can be on that, or left arm can be on that left knee. Reach the right arm over the ear. And we're turning that right palm to face behind you. So you're spiraling that arm in. And then if you want to slide the left hand on the floor, you can, or you can stay on the knee. And then here's where I'm going to take that elbow and kind of bend it back behind me and reach my hand back, open the chest to the ceiling. Good, both hands on the inside of the left foot. Slide the left foot out to the side a little bit. Turn the chest forward. Reach the heel back on that right leg. Good. Pick up the hips. Now, I want you to glue that left knee right to that left elbow or that shoulder, right? So I've got my knee pretty high up against my shoulder. In fact, I'm going to turn around so you can see it on the side. So knee is right up against that right shoulder. I'm going to pick up my hips enough to get my belly fired up, and then pick up that leg. Now I'm going to look forward. You can either step the foot to the back of the mat or keep it here. We're going to bend those elbows like a chaturanga. Pick it back up. Chaturanga bend and up. There's 3, 2, 1. Slide that left foot all the way back. Look forward. Lower down chaturanga. This time we're going to cobra. So you're just going to keep your hands under the elbows. Press down. Shoulders roll up and back. Lift your belly away from the floor and push into the hands. Press into the tops of the feet. One more breath. Keep pushing in those hands. Good. Press yourself back to your knees. Walk your hands forward. Let your hips stay above your knees. And drop your head and chest towards the floor. Good. Walk your hands under your shoulders. A couple of cat and cow stretches here. One more. Good. Go ahead and swing your legs around through. Do a little bit of ab work, and then we're going to do a couple things with the ball still. So go ahead and just bring your feet onto the floor, bend your knees, arms are going to reach forward, and we're going to just try to knock this out. So see if you can stay with me. If you need to readjust and come up, and then just join us again. But we're going to tuck the tail underneath you, roll yourself back towards the waistband of your pants, and then here's that little back and up, little pulses. So I'm just taking this pubic bone with me and curling it towards my belly button every time I go back. Here we go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it back. Arms go up and down, up and down. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands together in front of you. Interlace the fingers. Turn the chest to the left and center. You can squeeze the knees together here so that you feel like they're not moving with you. Both sit bones are heavy. And I'm just rotating from this waistline, turning my chest to the left. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. Just the left arm swings back and back to the right. We're just holding this rotation, just moving that left arm back. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands together, stay turned to the left. And now just like you're making that little fire in your hands, rubbing your hands together, I want you to reach the right fingertips past the left. Rotating, little twists. Here's 8, 7, 6, right? Like you got a stick in your hands and you're trying to make fire. Is this how you make fire? I don't know. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Keep that deep tuck of your tailbone between your legs. Turn it to the right. So now we've got center, right. Center to the right. Knees stay in the middle. Hips stay heavy. Just turning from the waist. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it to the side. Sweep the right arm back and in, back and in. Let's go. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring those hands back together. Stay turned to the right. Little twist, little twist. Reach those left fingertips past the right. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Roll yourself all the way down. Hands come behind your head. Head and shoulders come up. Diamond out the legs. Keep the feet together. Last set. Lift the legs. Lower them to tap. Lift and lower. Here we go. 10. If you need to put your head down, do it. 9. Otherwise, get those shoulders up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good job. Hug those knees. Good work. Okay, so grab your block if it's not close by. And we're gonna take these double balls, or if you only have one ball, just use the one ball, okay? We're gonna do the traps here, a little bit of the upper back. So you're gonna use your block for under your hips if you want more intensity. So either way, we're gonna use, if you've got the double ball, the nice thing is you can use this like a handle, and you're gonna take it and put it underneath the meaty part of your shoulder. So before you put your ball there, just take your hand, grab onto your shoulder where it meets your neck, right? You feel this kind of like chunk of muscle right here above your shoulder blade. So we're kind of in between the neck and the shoulder blade here, grabbing. That's your trapezius. So I want to try to target that and a little bit of this levator scapula that lives right in the same zone. So if you can see where that ball is, it's kind of right above my shoulder blade, but not just to the, I'm on my left shoulder. So I'm just to the left of my spine, and I'm just a little to the right of my shoulder blade. Now, same thing, you can use the one ball here too, and then you're gonna roll onto your back. Now you're gonna take your block, and you're gonna slide that under your hips. You can be on the lowest height, you could be on the middle height. I probably wouldn't go to the highest. Now, if you've got this double ball, you can also use it like a little handle to adjust where you need it. But I wanna be off the bones here. So wherever you are, just make sure you're kind of between the shoulder blade and the neck and the spine, right? And there should be some stuff you can feel in there. Now you can slightly maneuver yourself around with the ball underneath you, kind of moving your shoulders around to try to find where there's a spot that feels like it needs a little attention. And once you find that spot, maybe it even comes down the shoulder blade a little bit towards your hips. You can kind of just find somewhere in there that you maybe make these little micro rolls. So all I'm doing is pushing into my feet and moving myself forward and backward, maybe just like an inch or so, maybe not even an inch. And then once you find a place that feels like it's got something to talk about, you're just going to take your left arm and maybe make some arm movements. You can even turn your head a little bit to the right if it feels good. Now, most of my weight is in my feet and my hips, pretty light in my shoulders. And if moving the arm doesn't feel good, you just want to sit on the ball and do the little rolls. You can just stay here and do these little micro rolls. You might even take your left arm and just reach it like you're going to grab for your right ribs so that you can move the shoulder blade out of the way a little bit. And again, just kind of maneuver yourself. Small movements, maybe back and forth so the ball kind of gets just little rolling action on the muscle. Good, maybe take one more breath here. Try to just close your eyes and relax. Good, and then let's go ahead and switch sides. So you can stay up on the block now that you know where you're going, and you're gonna take it over to the right side. So if you wanna grab your shoulder right by the neck to kind of feel where that big muscle is that lives there, kind of comes up to that triangle, and then goes down the back. We're kind of hitting all of that at the same time as getting a little bit of the musculature between the shoulder blade and the spine.
Now, again, I'm just moving myself, very small movements by pushing into my feet and moving myself backward and forward to get the ball to kind of make these little small rolls up and down the inside of that shoulder blade. So if you can imagine my spine and my shoulder blade, I'm just kind of sitting right between the two, and I'm actually a little closer to the shoulder blade, so I'm really trying to hit all the attachment points that kind of connect into the medial border of the shoulder blade, which is the side of the shoulder blade that's closer to your spine. Now, once you kind of find a spot in there, it could be different from the other side, but something that feels a little tender and that you can stick with, then maybe you try to move the arm around. And maybe you want to take that right arm and just kind of drape it across the body like you're giving yourself a little hug, and see about rolling the ball a little bit there, now that you've kind of moved the shoulder blade over to the side. Okay. Maybe just take another breath here, just try and relax. Good, reach back and grab that ball. Go ahead and slowly slide the block out from under your pelvis. And now we're going to take the ball underneath the hips. So go ahead and grab it for your single ball. If you want to use the double ball, you absolutely can. It's a little harder to maneuver, but either way, we're going to target the top of the butt cheek. So if you bring your hands onto your pelvis and you feel where your thumb is, you might be more on the bone. Now just walk it down just a little bit so that you feel like, oh, okay, I'm on more of a meaty substance here. I'm just a little bit below the ridge of my pelvis. And that's where I'm going to roll the ball from side to side. So I'm going to take it to my sacrum out towards my outer hip. Now, if you're using the double balls, you can do the same thing. Just remember, they're going to run the same direction as your spine. So they're going to be stacked on top of each other, and they're going to roll in towards your sacrum and then out towards your outer hip, right? So once you put your hips back on the floor, you can put your feet on the ground, and then I just do kind of like a little hula, right, from side to side, just letting the balls roll in and out. And I'm trying to really target all of that upper gluteus maximus that wraps in towards my sacrum and really can put some compression here towards the low back. So just try to roll that out and release it. And this area is usually pretty tender, so if this feels tender, that's pretty normal. In fact, all of this could be pretty tender. Good, and then let's go ahead and switch it to the other side. Okay, I just want to get one more in after this, and then you're done. So I want to see if we can get the chest real quick. Good. Just again, kind of swishing the hips from side to side, letting that ball roll in towards the sacrum and back out. We're just below the SI joint here. Okay, so set that double ball off to the side. If you don't have your single ball, grab it, and we're going to use the block. Now, I'm going to try to target my pectoral muscles, so I'm going to figure out where my sternum is and my shoulder. Now, somewhere in this diagonal line, we're going to find a place for the ball. I like to bring it up pretty close to where my shoulder is. Like if you can see, the ball almost disappears as I bring my arm around. It's kind of diving in towards where the chest and the shoulder come together. But you may need to adjust accordingly to find out what feels good for you. But I want to target this kind of muscle that's right here, kind of where your armpit is. And I'm going to put the ball on the block so that I have some room for my chest on the floor. So I take my block and I kind of angle it so that the corner of the block is facing me, so that when I come down, I can lay the ball right at the corner and still have plenty of room for my chest to fall off the side of the block.
So you'll feel this go into the chest muscle. And if it's really uncomfortable, you might be on some breast tissue or glands. So just try to find a place that feels like you're hitting muscle. It should feel kind of reminiscent to what you felt in the shoulder and the glutes, or even in the feet. And it should feel like your muscles can respond with softening and not this tension pushing away from the ball, right? A major component of this work is really being able to relax into it, to let your breath feel really full and relaxed. You can cactus that arm out to the side that has the ball if you want to feel like you can maybe even open the chest a little more. But this one I always look to do for postural work because our arms and shoulders have this tendency to want to come forward of the rib carriage and just hang a little more in the front of the body, which just encourages kind of that upper back rounding forward, especially with all the work we do on our computers and our phones. Good, go ahead and switch sides. So now I'm going to take the block to the other side. I'm going to turn that corner of the block in. So again, I'm just trying to create as much space as I can. So if you see how I have the ball, it's in like the bottom corner. And then I'm going to set that down so that corner is angled towards me so I can kind of bring my arms around it. And again, I'm trying to find a spot somewhere between my sternum and my shoulder. Personally, I'm a little closer to the armpit shoulder area to try to get a little bit of that pec major and maybe even a little bit of the pec minor deep in there. These are all just the muscles that attach the sternum and the chest to the arm bone. And remember, we're just breathing nice and relaxed here, trying to feel heavy on the ball. Trying to let the ball sink up into the tissue of the chest. And again, if it's too much and your breathing is short or held or shallow, then back off. Maybe find a blanket you can put over the ball or something to kind of soften it. Because it becomes really counterproductive when we're in a state of stress or our nervous system is in high alert. Just one more big breath here. Go ahead and come on up. Maybe just make a couple arm circles. The shoulders and the neck should hopefully feel a little bit more loose. And hopefully those arms feel like they can just kind of hang out of that shoulder. And you got a little glute release. All right, good job.